And thank you. People were screaming on that side of the audience because we're going to talk about something that is very interesting. So I will now invite here the protagonists of the next project that is called e-Nable. They come from the Association Energy Family Project. More specifically, go mom! The mom is coming. Samuela Frontedo, did you call me? Yes. People, here there is Giulio that says, go mom. Giulio, would you like to come here with us? No. It's because very soon he will also be a protagonist of the next experiment. We also have Roberto. Do we have enough seats for everybody? You sit in the middle, and me and Dilette and I would sit on the sides. Go, Mom. Yes, Mom is going. Samuela is saying, enough. Giulio, would you like to come here? Please come, Giulio. Come, come, come. All right, you can see the show from there. Then, first of all, what do you do, and what is Energy Family Project? I would like to say hello to all of you at Make a Faire. Thank you for this fantastic invitation. I would like to greet our Association Energy Family Project PS that has come here to the Make a Faire from all over Italy. We are the Italian Association Energy Family Project that works with families that have to deal with congenital amputations from birth or the amputation of limbs due to traumas. Associations are like families, and we are an association of families. And the most important thing that we've learned after our creation and our and events, and the things that happened to us was learning that we have many things in common, and we also share fights. In Italy, there might be fights against red therapy and red tape and for therapies, and together we find the best solutions. How many families are you? Now in Italy, we are over 600 families. But the association is supported by other European associations with other families. Diletta was looking at your cuddle toy. I know that she is Flora. She is our mascot. She represents all our children and all our kids. Flora was born without her arm, and with the project led by Mr. Navata, he is the father of Greta, and we have become the Italian chapter of e-Nable Italy. We speak without even waiting for your questions. Have you noticed that? Yes, that is beautiful. We are your spectators, and it is a pleasure to be a spectator. We discovered this world movement that is e-Nable, and it builds these devices, these hands, these little hands, these smaller hands. Can we show yours? Basically, these are mechanic hands. These are mechanic hands. And with the if the joint of the wrist allow to make gestures, to grab things. So through this association, we got to know this movement that has tens of thousands of volunteers over the world, especially in the US or in the poorer countries, where prosthetics, especially the most costly and sophisticated ones, are inaccessible. And we gathered various requests from various families, and we launched this initiative with this association aimed at creating these devices in order to give them to the children. We build them with our volunteers, and we give them to the kids of our association. that is all based on the work of volunteers, and the expenses are covered by our association, and it is a project based, it is an open source project with volunteers working for us. It is a free model. Also, many young people joined us over time, and they are biomedical engineers and experts in mechatronics. They have joined us over time, and they have special skills. And then, based on the needs of the families, the project has become more ambitious. At the beginning, the idea was that simply building these devices in order to donate them to the kids as tools to favor their integration into the society. Just think about the kindergarten, that is the first opportunity that kids have to socialize with other kids, or just think about primary school. And the idea was that of using these toy hands to make their life easier and build their self-esteem and make them more open to the external world. So we work to make them more confident, and we want these hands to be beautiful, pleasant, colorful. We have the wings on them. I thought it was a Barbie, but it is a wings actually. For the boys, we have Iron Man. That is the most common on those hands. He's the most popular. And these are things that we call device. Is it the one of your daughter? This is the hand of a girl of 3 years and a half. Her name is Zoe. No, she couldn't come. You can see her name here. I can see her name, Zoe. If you lift it, they can even show it to the audience. So these are the devices that we take as open source projects, and we customize them to make them unique for the kids in order to help them and approach them to the world, the prosthetics that is going to accompany them for the rest of their lives, and also to help them in this process of inclusion, basically, that is participatory inclusion. Yes, absolutely. The experience that we had last year at Make Faire is fundamental too. In this sense, we participated with a project that was developed by our volunteers, that was swimmable, that was that applied for Make to Care 2011. Today we presented final contenders of this last edition. It is an incredible experience. Last year we participated feeling very curious, and we were very daring. But that is the driver of the greatest revolution. So what kind of stories have you gathered in these last years? I'm sure that you've also gathered personal stories. There are many families here. Each one of those families has its own story. Behind every child there is his or her mother and father. Then there is the story, the culture, their origins, their wishes, and the strength of their relatives and parents is very important. I mean, the strength that is conveyed to those children who do not have to feel different but unique, because these kids have shown and show to us every day that they know no limits. The limits are just our limits. Limits are very humane. But what I would like to say is that we, as volunteers and parents, because some volunteers are not parents, they're just volunteers that want to help us, because there is much to do, because making 600 children happy is very demanding. I think we should clap our hands for volunteers and people who work for free, and we have to remember that. Also, I would like to speak about the experience of a volunteer, the experience of volunteering that we didn't know. We thought that we needed the makers that could help us print something because we needed 5 hands to deliver, and we had never assessed the experience of the maker, who is also a volunteer, that sees the joy of a child that receives this device for the first time. So turning a child's dream into reality. I'm talking about Captain America. That is my favorite character. Does Julia love Captain America? No, he prefers Spider-Man. Also, I would like to tell you that he disappeared. He has disappeared many times. He might be playing somewhere. Giulio, please come here to the main stage. And then also the superhero is the character that helps you embrace the problems and be brave. So we take these wishes, the wishes of these children, and we turn them into reality, which is not a small feat.
I would like to add another important aspect. I was mentioning it before. And thanks to the experience we had last year through Faire, well, not only are makers and volunteers helping us in this initiative, but there's another opportunity that stems from the collaboration with schools and those who are helping us to train and our students, for them to become the citizens of tomorrow. Right now, we are promoting different initiatives aimed at developing at schools different methodologies. So there is a mixture between different cross-cutting disciplines. And through our participation in the Maker Faire, we would like to send a message to schools, for schools to think about joint initiatives where there's not only a maker who's creating a device, but a whole school or a whole classroom of a school could create a device for one of their fellow pupils or students, so that there's also an element of solidarity, of ethics in that these kinds of projects can bring about. This is a project that we started from the request of a family that requested us to create these devices for their children, and there are other people from all over the world that did the same. So if somebody would like to join you, how can they do that? Well, it's pretty easy. Well, sometimes it's always good when we get requests from other people. So the e-Nable community is a worldwide community. It's open source projects, and we in e-Nable Italy, we created the bike adapter. And so it's an electronic hand that is able to recreate this kind of the limb movement with an electronic wrist. And some makers are already printing and donating. That's wonderful. That's the important part about the importance of open source products. Well, I know you wanted to say it yourself, but unfortunately I said it in your place. And also, well, you can support us Energy Family Project. Just look it up on the internet, or you can follow us on Instagram or e-Nable Italia. I think it's important so that we know what are the channels we can follow. Yes, these are the 2 channels you can follow. And one point we've been working on also with institutions, apart from the e-Nable project, we also tried to provide support and help to families in a structured way through help paths or self-help paths, also when you need to have psychological support, because families often experience the discovery of congenital amputation or malformation of limbs, or in the case of my daughter, she had an accident, and so she suffered an amputation. And so they experience it as a trauma, so they also need this kind of support. So we try to network, and we try to contribute with our own experience so that we can show our children. And I think that the oldest child we have is a 64-year-old maker, Antonio. We would like to say hi to him. And he was born with this congenital amputation. And through the sharing of experiences with families, we're receiving this kind of support. And talking about children, we know that this year something is about to happen. So what's going to happen with your association at Faire? Well, this year we presented a project to make a Faire, that is the bike adapter project, which is an adapter for bikes to help children with amputation. So we needed to have 2 children. So now we leave this pavilion, and you are the queen of Make Faire, so please lead the way. You know, I'm really bad at orientation, so tell me if we have to go to the right or to the left. We'll find it on the way. So there are already children that are riding their bikes. So where is it, Samuela? Oh, and we're about to see also the sunset. There's a beautiful light in here. So where is Samuela? We lost her. Oh, here she is. Where is Giulio? All right, and we only have one microphone here. So this is the adapter. So this is Giulio without anything. Just that's him. So we see that, well, he's struggling when he needs to ride the bike, of course, because, he's got a problem in his limb. There's a problem, especially when they are small children. It's hard for them to ride the bike, and sometimes they may suffer falls. And based on our experience and our inputs, so we came up with the idea to build an adapter. And all right, Giulio is a bit reckless, isn't he? And now that's the adapter. So this is the biker adapter, and is made of silicon. And it's rather flexible. It's a rather flexible material. And this has been conceived by 2 of our volunteers that are not here today. And there are 2 volunteers of ours that are really active in their work. So it can be customized, and it can be printed in one piece. Giulio is going to wear it. Giulio, can you show us how the bike adapter is going to work? And today, we also organize the delivery of a few devices today. So come on, Giulio, show us how you can ride the bike now. Just a minute. Okay, we need to wait for Giulio to start. Oh, we needed to cut off these, the longer cable. All right. Shall I start? Yes, off you go. So it's live. We are live streaming. Come on, you're our tester. Giulio, please show us. Giulio is so good. Bravo. Well, you're really quick. And there's also a very special brake he's using that has been adapted. It's also an orthopedic device, that will adapt the braking force according to the pressure. And so, yes, it makes up for the loss of the other brake. All right, the lack of the other brake. So, thank you very much. And what else would you like to add? Well, our volunteers, they created a project that could be based on the parameters of a child. So, acquiring the measurements of the stump, then we are able to customize a device based on his features or her features so that they can ride the bike without any fear. There are also other children who are going to show us other devices. Leonardo, and now we're going to see how a scooter is working. And this is Leonardo, who's 3.5 years old. You've got beautiful eyes. Leonardo, could you please show us how this scooter is working? Just go for a ride together with Giulio. Please show us, Leo. Come on, Leonardo, show us. Well, do not run. Do not ride too fast. Well, wow, you're really good. That's great, Leonardo. That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who's going to show us other devices? Well, we invited a few families to be with us here today because we wanted to deliver a devices to them. So I think that now we'll see also Greta, Felicia. They are going to test out these devices. So it's an event within the event. Giulio, you can get off your bike. Please get off your bike. And now you can deliver the devices to the family. Can I use this microphone? Or, yeah, I can also use this microphone here, so no problem. We don't need the portable device. Our second day is over. We'll meet you again here tomorrow morning. At the same time, 10 o'clock. Well, please do not leave me tomorrow, so you'll be there tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching us, and may make Faire live longer. Thank you.